As I mentioned in my post a few weeks ago, business is human and relationships power growth. In fact, if you've spent any time with me, you'll know that I say that on a regular basis. And in today's society, we rely ever increasingly on texting and emails and digital communication. Now, my chief of staff, James, calls it going old school when he calls someone, and he knows the value of connecting and actually speaking with someone for a few minutes over the phone. The bond that's built by 5 minutes of a conversation by phone can be stronger than years of text or email interaction with someone. And from that bond, he can then get quicker and more helpful responses from those people when he really needs it. And also, he can be of greater service to them too. My name's Rob Whitfield, and I want to talk a little bit today about the personal connection and why it's so important that you spend time building that with your team members, with your leader, with your executive team, and with members of your ecosystem that are going to help create success for you. So James was recently telling me about how when starting any new job, he identifies the top 10 people he needs to connect and bond with, and then takes them for lunch or coffee during his first few weeks of the role to accelerate relationship building. He went as far as to identify gatekeepers and folks deemed as difficult in the office. And having strong relationships with those when no one else does is invaluable and often the keys to the castle. This is an excellent strategy, and I'd go one step further and suggest an actual framework for those coffee or lunch conversations. Most conversations stay surface level and can be small talk, but going deeper with the person by doing a personal professional check-in can drive significant value, can accelerate trust, and in addition to that, you'll learn things that might mean that you've got more in common and more to connect over than you originally thought. And certainly you'll be going beyond simple roles and titles that you might otherwise have connected over. Try asking the question, what's going on in your life front of mind, personally and professionally at the moment? And split the two elements so you talk specifically about what's going on in your personal life, and then switch and talk about what's going on in your professional life. You should start and you should model and generously go deep in what you're sharing. And that's going to encourage the other person to follow suit. This is a surefire way to accelerate a relationship with someone. It truly is a game changer, really, once you crack the code on doing this. The first time you might feel a bit weird at doing it, and the second time maybe, but the third and subsequent times, you'll notice two things. You're more comfortable in doing it and sharing for a minute per each person. And secondly, if you don't do it, the folks that you've been doing it with are going to ask, why aren't we doing the personal professional check-in? I'm invested in you. I want to find out what's going on in your life. Let me give you an example of a time that I've used this approach. This was years ago when I lived in London and before I moved to Los Angeles. And I was in an interim role, sharing the role with a woman who'd been in that company, in that organization for years. And I was there to support her success and help her get there faster in an elevated way. Every day I asked her if it would be possible for us to go to lunch, and it took 7 months for her to eventually say yes. Now, of course, it was London, so it could have been to do with the fact that it was raining outside when she said yes, but it could also have been a moment of weakness, or it could have just been happenstance that she was happy, or she saw that I was doggedly pursuing lunch with her. But either which way, what happened in that lunch was game-changing for us. She told me over the course of our sandwich that she had a disabled son and she needed to be able to get home quickly should anything arise. Now, why is that so critical to learn? Well, it drove to some of her motivations. She was worried that I might be taking her role. She was concerned that if I took her role, then I would also take her car park space in the building. Now, she didn't know, because we hadn't connected at all, that I didn't even have a car at the time. And so with that newfound knowledge that I was only there to support her success, that I didn't have a car, that I didn't want her role, and that knowing that she had a disabled son, I could maybe cover for her if she needed to dash out, we got a new level of understanding, a new level of commitment and owning each other's success out of that. It really did unlock a world of different for us. And I would suggest that you do the same. Go deep, find ways to involve the personal professional check-in, prioritize those relationships like James does, and see what that does to your results. Because here's what you'll find. You will find that if you make time to build a personal connection with your team members, it pays back dividends in a very short amount of time. Let us know how it goes as you do that. And if you're having successes, share that. And if you've got any challenges, please do reach out. Either way, I want to hear from you, and I'm looking forward to celebrating your successes and helping you overcome those obstacles. Just get in touch directly. Speak to you soon. Thanks.